Welcome, truth seekers, to the deep dive. As directors, look, we share this singular, really uncompromising mandate, igniting a visceral, undeniable transformation within every single actor.
That's the core of it, isn't it? It's not just theory.
No, not at all. It's the path, the proven path, to those electrifying performances that really captivate, that resonate, that leave a mark.
Performances that audiences feel in their bones.
Precisely. And today we're plunging into the absolute heart of that kind of truthful performance of Ivana Chubbuck Substitution. This deep dive is really tailor-made for you, the director, to truly master this indispensable tool. We're talking about transforming personal history.
Both the actors and your own, actually.
Yes, and your own too, into pure, unadulterated power on screen. Our mission today, to equip you with the clarity, the precision, and frankly, the unwavering commitment needed to guide your actors to triumph.
Making sure every single moment feels, well, devastatingly real.
Yeah.
And purposeful. It has to have purpose.
So that transformation you mentioned, it's key.
It really is. What we're exploring isn't just some abstract idea. It's this alchemy. Taking imagination and actually infusing it with lived experience.
Right, fusing the two.
Yeah, unlocking that hidden reservoir of authentic emotion. But here's the thing. You use it not as an end in itself, but as a strategic force.
That's the critical distinction.
When you grasp substitution, you really gain the power to elevate performances. They go from just, competent.
Hitting the marks.
Right, hitting the marks to being profoundly compelling. You move beyond just directing what they do to directing the why behind every breath, every choice.
Let's really unpack this then, because this is where the magic and honestly the real work begins. At its core, substitution is this. Well, it can feel brutal, but it's beautiful too. This injection of an actor's real life right into the fiction of the script.
Bringing the personal into the professional in a very specific way.
Exactly. It means drawing from their own history, harnessing those deeply personal, learned feelings they've actually lived through, and wielding them.
Wielding them as fuel.
As fuel to win the scene, to achieve their character's objective. This isn't about, imagining some vague sentiment or trying to fabricate emotion out of thin air.
No, that feels hollow. It always does.
It does. This is excavation, digging into raw, lived experience, transforming what might just be a concept on the page.
Like betrayal or longing.
Right, those abstract words to an undeniable, urgent, deeply felt truth. Think of it like a shortcut almost, a bypass.
Instead of building an emotion from scratch.
Which can feel artificial. You access a pre-existing, potent emotional memory, and you redirect its power to serve the character's immediate need in the scene right now.
And the impact. Wow. It's immediate. It's profound. When an actor overlays a real person, someone they have genuinely loved or hated or feared or lost on, to the character they're playing opposite.
That scene partner becomes someone else entirely in their mind.
Exactly. The stakes are instantly, irrevocably rewired. They're not just performing a scene about some fictional conflict anymore. In that moment, they're reliving something. Maybe it's an unhealed wound. Maybe they're fighting to get back a connection they desperately miss. Or maybe they're trying to finally destroy an old tormentor who still haunts them.
Or protecting something precious.
Or fiercely protecting a bond that feels threatened, yeah.
Or just surviving a betrayal that echoes right down to their bones. This isn't acting as we usually think of it. It's reliving.
And the audience feels that. Even if they don't know the actor's private story, they feel the force.
They feel the raw, immediate battle for something deeply personal. The scene stops being something you just watch. It becomes this shared, visceral experience. It grabs you.
Which is precisely why your role as the director here is so critical, fundamentally critical. Because truthful acting demands truthful feeling. And that feeling has to be earned. It has to be deeply personal. And this is crucial, ruthlessly purposeful.
Purposeful, always tied to the objective. Always. Now, let's be absolutely crystal clear about something. Your role is not therapist. Your mandate isn't to excavate their trauma for the sake of it or to pry into their private pain.
That's a boundary you absolutely cannot cross. It's not helpful and it's not appropriate.
Totally counterproductive. Instead, you are there to challenge them, To compel them to go deeper, yes, but specifically, to connect more specifically, to help them seize their life experience as a strategic tool for the character's objective. Substitution is that vital bridge. It's the conduit that transforms abstract imagination into tangible, lived experience. It moves a performance from just, intellectual understanding.
I know my character feels sad here.
Right, to visceral urgency. I need this or I'll break. You're asking them to bring their entire self, their history, their soul to the fight, not to wallow in it.
And this brings us right to a foundational principle of this technique regarding emotion itself. We teach very clearly that emotion is never the objective. It's a means to an end.
Say that again, it's critical.
Emotion is never the objective. Think of it as a tool, a brutal, precise tool, even a weapon in the arsenal of relentless pursuit.
A weapon for the character.
Exactly. It's not for wallowing, it's for winning the scene. Emotion fuels tactics. It makes them urgent, visceral, undeniably potent. It should never be merely sentimental.
If an actor is just feeling for the sake of feeling, if they're crying just because they think they should,
they've missed the entire point. The tears, the rage, the fear, these are byproducts of a desperate fight for what the character wants. They're the energy unleashed by the struggle, not the goal itself.
So we don't direct tears.
Never. We direct what the character is fighting for so fiercely that tears might be the inevitable result of that battle, or rage, or trembling. It comes from the fight.
Absolutely. And you, the director, you will feel it with undeniable certainty when a substitution truly lands. It's palpable, like an electric current in the room.
Or like the weather changing suddenly.
Exactly. A sudden weather front rolls in. You might not see huge outward shifts immediately, but you feel this profound change in the atmosphere.
The energy shifts.
Totally. Behavior sharpens, yes, but it's deeper than that. The air itself thickens. It gets charged with real consequence. The actor stops acting.
And starts needing.
Yes, needing. Their words, even whispers, become weapons. Their silences become loaded. Their choices suddenly have teeth, real stakes.
It's not just feeling more. That's a trap directors fall into.
It's a huge myth. They're not performing an emotion. They are authentically in a battle, fighting for something that in that moment has become devastatingly real to them.
Maybe it's love. Maybe it's revenge. Maybe it's just survival.
Whatever it is, the personal cost is tangible, it's immediate, and it's high. That's the alchemy we talked about. It doesn't just color the scene.
It detonates it from the inside out.
It detonates it. It forces the audience to feel the stakes viscerally. They lean in, they hold their breath, maybe they tear up, because the actor's fight feels undeniably personal and urgent.
And your job, director, is to keep that fire lit. But you don't need to stare right into the flames yourself.
Right. You don't need the actor to expose the wound publicly. You just need to know it's open and that they're using it to fight, not just bleed out.
Which brings us to something often overlooked, but just as important. Directors aren't exempt from this. You too can, and I'd argue must, use substitution.
Oh, absolutely. It's your secret weapon.
It really is. For surgically precise, emotionally attuned storytelling, the kind that resonates deeply, first with your actors, and then, through them, with your audience.
When you draw from your own lived experience, your losses, your betrayals, your deepest longings, your insights sharpen like a razor.
Your instincts become unerring.
Yes. And your direction grounds itself in this unshadable truth. Now, this isn't about sharing your whole life story on set.
No, definitely not. It's internal work.
It's about silently accessing its power within yourself to inform every creative choice you make, every frame, every pause, every note.
Think about a scene that just screams abandonment. If you, the director, have felt that particular searing agony, maybe from a partner, a parent, a friend,
or even a professional situation, a collaboration that went south.
Sure. That emotional residue, that echo in your own system, it must inform every nuance of how you shape that moment.
It dictates the tone you're reaching for, the suffocating silences you might choose to linger in, the desperate, raw behaviors you encourage or draw out of the actor.
You're not just staging a scene based on an intellectual understanding of abandonment. You are silently, profoundly staging your experience of it.
And again, it's not about disclosure. It's not turning the set into your therapy session. It's about unyielding access to your own internal landscape, your personal truth.
So if you're directing a character who feels utterly alone in a crowded room, if you felt that specific isolation, the disconnect despite physical proximity, your direction shifts. Instead of a generic note like, look sad here.
Which is useless.
Useless. You might give a subtle, almost imperceptible note like, feel the silence between every word they say to you, like there's an invisible wall. That comes from your lived experience. And that specificity, it's electrifying for the actor.
And this personal investment, this internal substitution, it transforms your direction. It goes from being just technical notes.
Hit your mark here. Say the line louder.
Into emotionally surgical commands. So instead of that detached cry here, your own deep understanding of loss, your own experience of fighting for something sliving away, lets you command with visceral precision. Make her stay. Fight like your life depends on it.
Because in this moment, for your character, it does. Or maybe let the shame of that memory wash over you until you physically have to look away. You're directing from embodiment, not just intellect.
From loss, from longing, from your own battles, won or lost. It's a profound difference, and it's felt everywhere by the actor, by the crew. It changes the energy.
It's the difference between just staging a play or a scene and actually crafting a lived experience on screen.
And here's the kicker, that authenticity. It's like a wildfire. Fiercely contagious. When you, the director, lead with embodied truth, when you access and use your own personal stakes for the scene.
Silently, strategically.
Yes. Your actors inevitably rise to meet your command. They don't need to know your secrets, but they sense the unshakable truth guiding your choices. And it compels them to dig deeper, to find and leverage their own personal stakes.
Your engagement gives them permission. It creates that sacred space where vulnerability isn't weakness, it's the source of power.
So before every rehearsal, every take, ask yourself this question, quietly, powerfully. What in this scene lives in me? Where have I felt this before? And then use it.
Quietly, powerfully, strategically.
It's your compass, your guide to profound, truthful storytelling.
Okay, so now let's pivot slightly. Let's talk about how to recognize when this incredibly powerful tool isn't quite hitting the mark, when it's not working as intended.
Right, because it won't always land perfectly the first time.
Exactly. A weak substitution, one that isn't specific or potent enough, leads to what we call mere emotional decoration.
Ooh, I like that phrase. Emotional decoration.
Yeah, the performance hits its marks, maybe, but it utterly lacks that vital pulse of true consequence. The scene becomes just informational delivering dialogue, moving the plot rather than transformational.
It doesn't change anything in the audience. It doesn't land in their gut.
Precisely. And remember, the audience doesn't need to know the actor's private substitution. What they must feel is its relentless intensity. In every breath, every line, every glance.
If it doesn't demand something profound, something deeply personal from the actor,
It will mean nothing to the audience. It just won't connect. And that is your urgent signal, director. Time to demand they dig deeper.
maybe pull out the very pain or longing they might be trying to avoid.
Exactly. Bring it to the surface where it can be harnessed and strategically deployed for the character's fight.
So you will absolutely know. You'll feel it when a substitution isn't working, when the actor is just performing, not living it. There are signals, devastating signals, really.
What's the first one?
First, there's this emotional flatness, or you could call it spirit absent. The actor's physically there, maybe hitting marks, doing the blocking, but their spirit, it's just not in the room.
The lights are on, but nobody's home.
Exactly that feeling. There's a lack of urgency, no real investment. You look in their eyes and there's no inner spark, no flicker of authentic thought or feeling driving them. They're just getting through the lines.
Rather than living inside them, moment to moment. Okay, what's second?
Second, you'll see vague performative choices. Their actions feel rehearsed, disconnected from any true internal need. They might be focused on hitting a result they think is expected.
Like, okay, this is the sad part. I'm supposed to cry here.
Right. Instead of relentlessly pursuing a desperate need like, I need to make them stay or I'll completely fall apart, you'll hear the rhythm of the dialogue, maybe the correct inflections, but there's no intention behind it.
No fuel.
No fuel propelling the words.
Yeah.
You might see a display of feeling, but it lacks the genuine thrust of authentic stakes. It becomes about showing emotion rather than emotion driving a strategic need to win. The tears might even be there, but they feel empty. They don't mean anything.
Performative crying. We
Yeah.
see it all the time. And the third signal.
Third, and this is a killer for any scene, there's a lack of urgency or danger. The scene just drifts. It feels totally devoid of tension, any palpable risk or real consequence.
Nothing seems truly at stake.
Nothing. It doesn't feel like a fight for something that truly matters because emotionally, the actor isn't fighting for anything specific or deeply personal to them. There's no resistance that feels insurmountable, no risk of profound loss.
So the work lacks weight. It lacks that devastating consequence.
Exactly. Emotionally, they aren't fighting for something that truly matters in their bones, and the audience feels that void instantly. The scene becomes forgettable because it lacks that electric charge of genuine conflict and desperate need.
And these deficiencies, these signals, they often stem from substitutions that fall into pretty specific categories, right? We've identified a few common pitfalls.
Yeah, patterns emerge.
The first is a substitution that is too abstract, meaning it's rooted in some generalized memory, like the actor saying, oh, I just imagined someone who hurt me once.
Vague, non-specific.
Totally vague, without a specific image, a particular tone of voice, a smell, a location, the exact words used. There's nothing concrete to anchor it. The feeling stays in the head. It never drops into the body to be weaponized.
It's like trying to grab smoke. They have nothing to hold on to.
So the performance stays intellectual, never truly embodied. That's a big one.
Okay, what's another common reason it falls flat?
Another is when the substitution is too safe. This happens when the actor, consciously or unconsciously, chooses something that avoids discomfort rather than creating urgency.
And comfort is the enemy here.
Comfort is the absolute enemy in this work. If the substitution generates no pressure, no risk, no genuine stakes for the actor, it leaves them in emotional neutral.
Which just kills the scene, robs it of danger, volatility, power.
It might feel nice and comfy for the actor, but that's precisely the problem. It makes for a dead scene. No tension, no compelling drive. They're playing it nice. And truth rarely comes from nice.
Good point. And the last one?
And then finally, the substitution can be too distant. This is when the memory, however powerful it once was, has just gone cold. It's emotionally disconnected from their present moment.
The fire's gone out.
The fire's gone out. Substitution demands immediacy. It has to feel like the wound was ripped open seconds ago, or the longing is as fresh as this morning. If it's not alive and potent now, in the actor's current experience,
It'll be dead in the scene, no matter how dramatic the original event was.
Exactly. The audience needs to feel the immediate urgency, not just a faded echo from the past.
Okay, so when you spot these signals, the flatness, the vagueness, the lack of urgency, and you suspect the substitution is abstract, safe, or distant, that's your cue. You have to act decisively, with precision.
But careful.
Yes, carefully. Now listen closely, directors. You do not need, and you should never demand, to know the intimate details of an actor's specific substitution. Let's be clear on that.
Your job is not to pry. It's not to excavate their private trauma. Doing that just shatters trust. It's invasive. It shuts the actor down completely.
Totally. Instead, your unwavering focus has to be on empowering them to make their chosen substitutions specific, active, and searingly alive for them. Your guidance needs to be incisive, sharp, not intrusive. That's the balance.
So how do we do that? We guide them with questions. Incisive, non-intrusive questions that invite access rather than demanding it.
Give us an example.
Okay, I might ask, what relationship in your life possesses the same emotional voltage as this moment? And I'm not looking for something that just matches on paper, sister for sister.
No, it's about the feeling.
It's about the charge. Who makes their breath catch or their gut clench? Who have they loved or depended on so fiercely that the thought of losing them, disappointing them, being abandoned by them, it still lives in their body?
In their bones.
That's the raw, immediate connection we're chasing, the one that makes their heart race or their stomach drop just thinking about it. It's the quality, the feeling, the intensity.
Okay, another question, especially for maybe confrontation scenes.
For intense dialogue or moments of confrontation, a powerful one is, who could shatter you with this specific line? whose words hold the power to utterly undo you.
Not just someone mean.
No, not just cruel, someone whose opinion, whose rejection, whose silence matters so deeply, it would just collapse you, shake you to your core. This pushes past intellect into a visceral response, finding the person whose judgment truly devastates them.
That gets personal fast.
It does. And we might push further, gently but firmly. Is the person you're using someone with whom you still have something unresolved?
Unfinished business.
Exactly. A wound that never fully closed, a goodbye that never happened, a betrayal you haven't recovered from, a conversation you still wish you could have. If you see their eyes flicker, their body language shift. If you sense that unresolved energy is their fire. Use it. If not, push them gently. Is there someone else, someone who still lives under your skin? Find the one who occupies their thoughts in quiet moments. That's the key.
And you're not asking for the story. You're helping them connect somatically, viscerally.
Cracking open the dam so truth can pour in. Empowering them to tap into their own ongoing, living narrative.
I also find it powerful to ask, what is the cost of losing their love or approval? Specifically their love or approval, the person you're substituting.
Making it concrete.
What would it mean to be seen as a disappointment in their eyes? Not just the characters. What part of you still aches for their acceptance? Does losing it feel like death, failure, betrayal? This illuminates the real stakes for the actor.
Grounds it in their personal fear of loss, their deepest vulnerabilities. Connects the character's objective right to the actor's primal needs.
And one more, a great one to bypass the intellect and get straight to the gut. If they, this specific person from your life, said that exact line, those words, to you right now, not your character, but you, what would it do to you?
Forces an immediate response.
Instantaneously. Would you fight back? Shut down, collapse, rage, beg? What primal version of you gets activated? The abandoned child, the betrayed lover, the fighter. It connects the script directly to their nervous system.
Okay, but what about resistance? What if an actor says, I'm just not connecting, or you sense they're holding back?
Right. First, challenge them, yes, but understand it's rarely laziness. Almost always it's fear.
Fear of vulnerability.
Or maybe the residue of past harm from directors who pushed too hard, too fast without care, who maybe exploited their emotions.
So your job isn't to bulldoze through that resistance.
No, your job is to disarm it.
Sure.
Start by acknowledging it. I hear you. I see this as challenging. That builds trust immediately.
Yeah.
Then invite curiosity. Don't demand confession. You don't have to share who it is, but can we just explore what might be at stake for someone in this kind of moment? Offer stepping stones, not ultimatums. Resistance softens when actors feel seen, not scrutinized. Frame it like a puzzle you're solving together.
That makes sense. What about actors may be trained differently, more technical?
Good question. For them, sometimes framing it as emotional research works well. You can say, instead of building a backstory from scratch, let's borrow something real, something your nervous system already knows. It's deep character research, understanding the emotional landscape from a personal angle.
Takes the pressure off, makes it analytical in a way.
Right. And for those who might have been wounded by past experiences, you must reestablish their agency. Reinforce. You are in control here. You decide how far you go. My job is just to help you access what's useful for the character, not to exploit your history.
You're the guide, not the exploiter. That trust is paramount.
Paramount. And remember, the most potent way to inspire bravery, model it yourself. You don't need to overshare your deepest secrets, but you can speak from your own vulnerability. Maybe share a time you, as a director or artist, avoided a deeper layer and the power that was unleashed when you finally dared to go there. That kind of leadership, it makes all the difference.
Okay, so you've acknowledged, invited, maybe reframed. What if they still say they're not connecting, or you feel they're holding back the really potent stuff?
Then you gently but firmly ask if there's a more loaded relationship, a more potent memory that they've been avoiding, something that carries the real heat of unfinished business, unresolved longing, unhealed betrayal.
The thing they don't want to touch.
Exactly. And you remind them of the brutal truth. The pain you don't want to use is often the pain that will light the scene on fire. That's the stuff. And sometimes you have to demand they use it. With compassion, yes, but with unwavering purpose for the work.
And always, always demand specificity. No generalizing allowed.
Never. If they say, I imagine someone who hurt me, push them. Who? Was it your mom? Your brother? What exactly did they say? What was their tone? Where were you? Help them zoom in.
Like a detective.
Like a detective for emotional truth. Precision ignites memory. Generalize, and you kill it. Reduces potent truth to a vague concept.
And finally, you have to reinforce the stakes for the audience. Remind the actor, look, if this substitution doesn't shake you, if it doesn't profoundly impact your emotional state right now, it simply won't shake the audience.
A safe choice gets the job done, maybe. It's forgettable.
But a dangerous, specific one, that compels people. Makes them lean forward, feel it in their bones. If it doesn't cost the actor something profound, leave them emotionally spent from the fight.
It will move no one. That's the absolute truth of our craft.
Now, this work, substitution, it operates on sacred ground. We have to talk about privacy, respect, and power.
Absolutely essential. Substitution, by its nature, it opens emotional wounds. It has to. That's the point, accessing what's raw, unresolved, deeply personal.
But for actors to go there, to expose that vulnerability,
they have to know unequivocally that the space you create is fiercely protected. Safety here doesn't mean comfort. It doesn't mean no challenge.
Right. It means knowing they won't be judged, exposed, or interrogated about their most intimate details.
Your job, director, is to hold that sacred space with unwavering respect, absolute discretion, and razor-sharp clarity of purpose. You are the guardian.
And on privacy, let's hammer this home. You must never demand to know an actor's specific substitution. Never.
You don't need to see the ghost to know it's there. You feel its effect.
Exactly. The moment you demand to know, you usurp ownership of something sacred. You tread on forbidden ground. Your role is not therapist. You're not excavating trauma for your own curiosity.
The power comes from their internal connection, their ownership, not your knowledge of their private life. Breach that trust.
And the wellspring of their truth dries up instantly. They'll shut down.
Okay, respect. What does that look like in practice?
Respect means you never shame an actor. Never for being too emotional. Never for being not emotional enough.
Because emotion is a byproduct.
It's a byproduct of the fight for the objective, not a product you order up. If it erupts tears, rage, honor it as energy fueling their pursuit. If it's quiet, internal, a tremor, trust it.
Everyone processes differently.
Everyone. Your job isn't to regulate their emotion, turn a faucet on or off. It's to ensure it's relentlessly connected to action, to the need to win. The emotion is just the charge in the circuit.
And power.
Power. Always reinforce this. Emotion is never the goal. It is a tool, a weapon in the arsenal of relentless pursuit.
Not for wallowing.
Not for wallowing. It is for winning the scene. Constantly drive them back to their objective. What do you want more than anything right now? What are you willing to do to get it? And how does this deep feeling help you seize it? How does it help you fight harder, persuade better, inflict more damage, protect more fiercely?
The emotion is the engine. The objective is the destination. Always.
Okay. So just as critical as igniting this powerful substitution is recognizing when it crosses a line, when it becomes dangerous.
When it transforms from fuel into a destructive flood.
Exactly. A flood that overwhelms the actor and completely derails the scene. You have to recognize these signals immediately.
What do they look like?
If an actor spirals emotionally, becomes visibly overwhelmed, loses focus on the scene partner or the objective, or even seems to dissociate.
But you aren't really there anymore.
Right. They're lost in their own internal state. The character's objective vanishes. The scene collapses into just feeling. Raw, undirected feeling rather than purposeful fighting. You'll know it when they stop pursuing anything, stop making active choices, and just collapse inward.
Drowning in their personal pain, unable to connect to the fiction.
That's your cue. Immediate strategic intervention is required. And your purpose isn't to shame them or shut down their vulnerability.
It's to redirect, pull them back.
Pull them back to their power, back to the character's objective. Your primary command needs to be direct, clear, unwavering. I don't need you to relive this. I need you to use this.
Reestablishes the purpose instantly. Tool, weapon, energy source. Not an end in itself.
Exactly. Reminds them their pain is a resource for the character's fight, not something to just endure passively.
And then right after that,
drive them immediately back to what they need to win. To get to change in the scene dynamic, ground that overwhelming emotional truth within the scene's given circumstances.
So, an example. If they're lost in a memory of betrayal playing a forgiveness scene.
You shift them. You say something like, you're not reliving the betrayal now. You're using the cost of that betrayal, the agonizing price you paid, to fight for his forgiveness now, because your character's entire future depends on it. How does that feeling make you fight harder for his understanding?
Channeling the raw emotion into active pursuit. Got it.
Sometimes, too, a physical shift can work wonders. It can break through that internal overwhelm. Make them stand up if they're sitting. Move across the room. Speak the line while walking or while engaging with a prop. Motion can cut through that feeling of being stuck, ground them in the physical reality of the scene.
And at the same time.
Immediately shift their focus back to tactics. Ask,
Yeah.
what do you want from them right now? What specific action are you going to take to get it? How are you going to get what you need? Redirects energy from internal collapse to external, actionable pursuit.
It all comes back to this, doesn't it? We keep saying it. Emotion is the weapon, not the war.
It's the bullet, not the battlefield. If an actor is drowning in their pain, succumbing to that flood, they're not playing the scene. They're just bleeding out.
Collapsing into their own story instead of wielding it for the character.
And your sacred duty, right then in that critical moment, is to throw the rope. Pull them back to shore, back to the fight, back to the character's urgent objective.
Ensuring their vulnerability is power, not paralysis.
Now, let's talk pitfalls. Things directors absolutely must not do, because mishandling substitution, rushing it, overplaying it, misinterpreting its power, it risks way more than just a weak performance.
It can shatter trust, collapse the stakes, turn powerful work into self-indulgence.
Exactly. Directors have to embody the same rigor and precision they demand from actors. If you don't grasp the emotional architecture here, you'll accidentally foster result-oriented acting, you'll confuse tactics with outcomes, you'll demand emotion without objective.
And that's not acting, that's just...
Emotional decoration leaves an audience cold, so we need to be surgical.
Okay, let's name them. 4 common destructive mistakes to avoid. What's number 1?
Number 1. Pushing actors into substitution too fast causes immediate emotional shutdown. Actors have to choose vulnerability, feel safe, feel empowered. They can never be cornered into it.
So instead of demanding, find someone you hate and use them.
Right, that blunt approach is terrible. Instead, offer a clear, compassionate invitation. When you're ready, and only when you feel ready, is there a relationship in your life that might help make this moment, this need, more personal for you.
Lay the invitation down gently. Create the space. Don't shove them through the door.
Their choice is paramount. Okay, mistake number 2.
Mistake 2, over-talking emotion instead of action.
Why is that a pitfall? It seems like we talk about emotion a lot.
We talk about using emotion, but emotion itself is seductive, right? It's easy to get caught up discussing how a moment should feel. You need to feel more devastated here. This needs more love.
But the scene demands doing, not just feeling.
Exactly. If you spend rehearsal talking about how it should feel, you've lost the thread. Instead, talk tactics. Relentlessly focus on, what do you want from them? What specific action are you taking to get it? How are you going to compel them?
Substitution fuels the tactics, makes them urgent, visceral. It's not the end goal itself.
The feeling is the spring. The tactic is the arrow it shoots. Got it. Mistake 3.
Mistake 3. Treating emotional moments as emotional goals instead of tactics.
Like saying, break down here, or you should cry on this line.
Precisely. Those commands, they reduce the work to superficial, result-oriented acting, which is totally antithetical to this technique. Crying is never the goal.
It's a potential cost, a byproduct.
A byproduct of fighting relentlessly for what you need and maybe not getting it, or getting it at great expense. So instead of cry here, frame it through the objective.
Give an example.
Guide them with, okay, you're devastated because you're trying everything to win her back, and it's just not working. The emotional pain is immense, but it's not enough to make you give up. What do you do with that devastation now? What tactic comes next? How do you try again despite the pain?
Always moving forward, always fighting for the objective. Makes sense. And the last one, mistake number 4.
Mistake 4. Assuming every actor accesses emotional truth the same way.
Thinking there's one size fits all for substitution.
Exactly. Why is that destructive? Because not all actors access truth through the same channels. Forcing a universal approach will shut down an actor who processes differently, who builds from a different place.
So what's the alternative?
Meet them where they live. Some actors need physicality first to unlock emotion. Others need intense inner monologue. Some use specific imagery or tempo or even music.
Substitution isn't a rigid formula.
Not at all. It's a deeply personal map to emotional truth. Your role as director is to help them forge their own path, find their access point. Never demand they take yours or use a method that doesn't resonate.
Your flexibility is key to their authenticity.
Absolutely.
So wrapping this up, ultimately mastering the Chubbuck technique, especially substitution, it doesn't come from just intensity alone, does it?
No, intensity without intelligence is just noise. It demands intelligent, intentional, emotionally attuned leadership from you, the director.
It's a nuanced, powerful approach. Respects the actor's craft, respects their humanity.
And your job, director, is to wield this technique with that commanding purpose, yes, but also with compassionate rigor, transforming personal pain
into the electrifying, undeniable truth of performance. The kind that detonates the scene and captivates the audience, leaves them changed.
in ways they'll never forget.
So remember this always. This really encapsulates the essence of what we do. Your job is not to expose the actor's wound, not to put their pain on display for its own sake.
But to ensure it's open.
And that they are using it to fight, fighting for something concrete, something critical in the scene, not merely bleeding out.
That's the essence. Directing with integrity, with profound insight, and with unparalleled power.